Uh, hey guys. Yeah, so we're live. This is live from the apocalypse, and I'm Judah Rad. Robo, we're expecting him at some point, maybe. Ree was unable to make it, but you know what we do have? We do have boop, boop, Miracle Man right here. How's it going, man? Good to see you.
It's going great for all the viewers. I apologize that you're missing the real hosts and you're stuck with me.
You know, you're my favorite disembodied stack of comics.
That's really nice of you to say. How many of us do you know?
You would be surprised. You'd be surprised. But out of all the multitudes that I do know, you're definitely the most charming.
Well, that's incredibly kind.
And the most evenly stacked. I mean, just looking at across the top, it's like whew, perfect. You could put a level on that. I could eat dinner off that thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know, that's what they say about my butt too.
Yeah, that's what I've
heard. Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And I see Michael's in the chat there. So thank you, Michael, for sending me that message. I appreciate it.
What's up, Michael? Good to see you. Thank you for wrangling Miracle Man. I appreciate that. And thank you for clearing off your schedule to come be on the show. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a lot of plans. I was going to read some comics, maybe watch some TV. Definitely was going to play some video games. So I'm really putting myself out here.
I'm just going to, I know this is really tacky, but just really quick, just to humor me for a second. So many of you have seen this thing. This is Coco. She is just a dead weight. She's like a piece of furniture that makes noise, but she's a very, very nice cat. She's always by my feet whenever we're recording. So
it's a beautiful animal.
It is a beautiful animal. She's gonna make a hell of a pair of socks someday. Let me tell you.
Right.
No, that was a joke, Coco.
I have a cat. He's nowhere to be found right now. But he's at about 17 pounds. Which you go, oh, that doesn't sound that heavy. But for a cat, that's a fat little cat. So
they're the best, aren't they? It's the easiest pet.
Oh yeah, they're great.
So I want to get into like what you've been reading lately and like what I've been reading lately and stuff, but I'm preoccupied. I'm distracted by like a conversation I was having right before this, and I was just hoping that maybe I could like kind of bring you in on the discussion. So so here's the deal. We were talking about it started from another conversation, but eventually we got onto the subject. It's me, Robo, Ree, and a bunch of other people in our moderator Facebook chat, where really that's where IFLC, the heart of IFLC, lives. It's kind of like a big family. What's up, Danny? Good to see you, man. I was just talking to Jeremy, Danny, and yeah, that's a guy we both know. Cool. But anyway, so here's the deal. You have Mark Millar's Civil War event, and you have the MCU Civil War, and it's basically a conflict between Captain America and Tony Stark. And the question arose of which of those two is more MAGA in that particular circumstance.
Oh,
and I thought it was an interesting question, but my answer was that I thought Captain America was the MAGA one in that circumstance, because looking at the conflict, what the conflict is that, you know, depending on whether we're talking about the movie or the comic, in the comic, it was the school in Stanford that's blown up by the New Warriors. In the comic book, it's Sokovia falling. But what you have is a class of beings that have power. Mm-hmm. And they use that power, and sometimes they use it responsibly, but oftentimes they use it to the detriment of the public. Mm-hmm. And what Tony was arguing for was that there should be some degree of oversight. There should be some level of control by an elected body over when they can use their powers, or which their weapons, their powers or weapons or whatever ability they have to exert force. It should be regulated by some type of government, specifically an elected body. And then what Captain advocated for was that whatever governing body controls them is corrupt, and they have no business, you know, they have no business overseeing what we do. There should be no government involvement in what we do. That it should be left at the lowest level, the individual hero or whatever. And that's kind of the source of the conflict. And I even though I think it's cooler that Cap ended up, I guess both the comics and the movie were more sympathetic to Captain America, and he ended up getting proven right in the context of the story. I would argue that if this was a real world conflict, it would be insane to not want some type of government oversight over these superheroes.
Sure.
And Robo and Ree both disagreed with me. They both disagreed with me. They both I'm gonna butcher their point of view, but I'm trying my best to steelman it and not like insert my own bias and try to make what they're saying look wrong. But what they were saying is that it's essentially leaving that kind of stuff up to bureaucrats that run inherently racist and supremacist and fascist systems of government, which is what we see in the US, that have like all these weak points, that empowering them to oversee these like heroes of the people is actually a step in the wrong direction. And that I when Robo's here, I'm going to have him kind of explain it better than me, because I really don't want to misrepresent his point, but it was a very hard sell for me. So anyway, now that I'm done, I've been talking, I think, for like 30 minutes. It feels like I've been talking for 30 minutes. Would you care to weigh in?
Sure. So I'm not not knowing 100% of where Robo and Ree were coming from. I'm going to tell you, I think the more accurate depiction of Tony and Cap in that particular instance is Tony is MAGA and Cap is Republican light.
Okay.
I don't see any leftist viewpoint involved in that in any way, shape, or form. I see that as all at best centrist to right wing. Yo, what up, Robo?
But within the framework of the conflict, there's no leftist argument in that comic. There's only two sides to it.
Yeah.
There's Captain America who there's Captain America who does not want any government involvement. He doesn't want government oversight. He doesn't want government involvement. He wants to leave the authority of when to exert force at the individual superhero. So if they're good, then they make the right choice. If they're bad, they make the wrong choice. And then there's Tony Stark, who believes that they should be subordinate to an elected body because they are going out and exerting force.
Well, so that's where I would say I think that's the most MAGA part about it, because the traditional Republican beliefs obviously fall along the lines of less government oversight is a better thing, smaller government, right? I mean, we all know that. But the MAGA viewpoint is, really less when we want it, more when we want it. Screw everything you want. Is the way I see it. There's no all beliefs are fungible within that mindset. Right. Nobody's saying this is a hard line. And we've all seen that. This is a hard line stance that I'm going to apply to every situation. Right. Because if you did, you're not MAGA, you're Republican. If you had, because I still know plenty of Republicans that I'm like, okay, you're not insane.
Thanks, Danny.
We disagree on things, but you're holding the same line across the board. And Greg Doucette, I don't know if you follow him, but he's somebody I know through Twitter who he believes in limited government across the board. He doesn't change it as it suits him. When you have a situation like that, where you have one side that's talking about a limited government, that looks to me like traditional republicanism. And when you're talking about another side where it's, I want control over this thing because I want it. But I'll tell you right now, if it was something that Tony didn't want somebody to have control over, he would fight back on it. So there's that fungible. There's no flat line. Everything is it's dips and valleys dependent upon the situation for my personal benefit.
Reese said that exact thing when we were having this in the group in the mod chat, where it was, I want you to have accountability until it's inconvenient for me, and that's MAGA. And so that's actually very poignant right there, what you said regarding what is conservatism, like actual conservatism when it talks about small government. But MAGA is not conservatism. Right. By the way,
it's social conservatism, perhaps.
Yeah, sure. Like when you start, using buzzwords like traditional families or whatever, really, it's just it's an opportunity to shit on people.
Yes.
Not really important to the point, but I feel like I just need to put this in the universe. I think it is the role. It is the responsibility of the state to take care of your people. So I find the whole idea of stay out of my business thing turns into fuck the environment. I should be able to dump whatever I want. I should be able to pay people whatever I want, and I don't find that to be inherently a good thing. But that's neither here nor there. What I will say is, even if we do the steel manning, if we put it in the best light possible, where conservatism is small spending, small government, stay out of my business. That's never what MAG has been. It's been hilariously hypocritical in that way. Right. And in that sense, that's where Tony comes in more like that, where it's like, I'm gonna control everything, like a woman's body, like religion, like trans rights. So
I think we should just to have a mutually agreed upon starting point here.
Okay.
I know we're going to conflate the comics and the movie, but I think that the main points, it doesn't really matter.
He is too scientifically minded to vote Republican. No fucking way.
That's true. He does believe. Reed Richards would believe in climate change, so there's no way he'd vote Republican.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
so when we talk about what a superhero represents in the context of this story, the things that come to my mind are a superhero represents power. They also represent law enforcement. Maybe not laws written.
Have a good faith.
Hold up.
No, hold on. I want to make sure everything's clear as you say it. I'm not going to interrupt you just to talk. It represents power. What do you mean by power? Like power, like fist, or power as in like white supremacy?
Not like maybe white supremacy. Power can be used for white supremacy. Sure. Power can be used to fight white supremacy. It's just
that's
power.
What I mean. Social power or like laser beams out of your eyeballs.
Well. In the comics, it's laser beams out of your eyeballs, but there's no laser beams coming out of people's eyeballs in the real world. So to find a real world application, we have to then we have to find an analog that's relatable to the real world. So what do those laser beam out of the eyeball abilities mean in the real world? It's the power. It's the power to inflict force, or to cause violence, or to overpower. Do you know what I mean? And that's what that represents. It's the ability to do.
It sounds like you're describing superheroes in a real world setting as though they'd be closer to the boys than the Avengers.
Well, they're to me, it's almost like they're nuclear weapons. They're walking nuclear weapons.
Sure.
And so, in the Marvel universe, you have a very clear line. There's like these good guys that are almost always good, and you got these bad guys that are almost always bad, with a couple exceptions. And the idea seems insane to me that kind of power to destroy on that level, or power to cause damage on that level, would not belong to the people. Would not be controlled.
If we had a socialist state, I'd agree with you. But
wait, we don't have a social state, but we still have a democratic republic, and it could be a deeply flawed democratic republic, but it's still a democratic republic. It still has the stated goal of representing the people.
Stated goal, I agree with that.
But that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
That's what it's supposed to be. And you're surely. I'm gonna give you assume that you're not arguing that the absence of that is better, that no democracy is better than a flawed democracy.
Well, no, but here's go ahead. I'll let you finish.
So the people, the book, the comic, and the movie don't. Maybe the movie a little bit more, but both the comic and the movie don't really. And we should, but the the comic and the movie don't really get into the weaknesses of democracy. They don't talk about gerrymandering and huge amounts of money in politics. They just the democracy's there, and whether it's good or bad, it's the democracy and it belongs to the people. So if people have the power to level buildings and they use it when they think it's right, don't you think it's insane to leave that up to them and not a body politic of elected officials?
In a real world setting, yes. In an idealized version of the universe, like the Marvel universe, definitely not. Because the only reason these people are putting their lives on the line to begin with is because they answer to a higher calling than your average person. You know, your Peter Parkers, your Steve Rogers, your Clark Kents, for that matter. In the real world, Superman would be scary as shit.
Even if he was a good guy, he'd be scary as shit.
You could never be like, man, fuck that dude, because he could hear you and zap you with his laser eyes from space. You know, so you can't even really put these things in real world settings just because, you know, Marvel use all this. I guess you have Hulk and Sentry, but Marvel their big heroes are, you know, not necessarily street heroes, but typically more down to earth heroes. You know, Iron Man doesn't have superpowers. He's just really smart and built a suit of armor. You know, you got Cap, you got Peter Parker. Sure, they've got superpowers, but most of them aren't, you know, at world killing level of power. Exceptions, a couple exceptions.
I don't think.
Hold on, real quick. So I need a talking stick. Here's what I'll say. I think you guys are. I think there is a distinction that has to happen, and it's what is the representation? Like, what are the analogies between real world and the comic book world? Because we're kind of like choosing which one is which depending on the post of what part of the argument we're in. Yes, in the real world, just like the boys taught us, these things would not go the way that they go in Marvel and DC. However, in Marvel, even though these are walking nukes, what is consistent since the 50s is that the United States, the people have constantly had them under oppression. That's what the whole thing about the mutants are for. There was another one that we just did where they was it Young Avengers or somebody did a line where this politician got everyone to be afraid of them and then passed laws that made it illegal to do their business, and then people got put away for it. So in this world, the state and the people have the power to be bigots, and so if we take that, right, and then we say, well, if it happened in the real world, that wouldn't happen because the planet would be ruled by the people who have superpowers. That's what would happen. But in the Marvel universe, the planet is not ruled by people who have superpowers. They still put politicians in places of power that oppress people with power. So in that way, you don't have a real world analogy. So if you go with that, now we have, and I'm gonna project something into that world that may or may not be there. But if I believe that our government is corrupt, that lobby people with money control it, that we don't have say of what wars we go to and we don't go to, when nukes are used and when they're not used, and we live in a system. My belief is that we live in a system that is built, that is upon white supremacy. If that is an integral part of the system we live in, that we work every day to dismantle and deprogram, why in the fuck would I give the power that up until now they've been regulating themselves fine, right? To the government that oppresses them? No.
Well, I mean, even within the universe, every other week there's a huge ass superhero fight in New York City where like 50 buildings collapse. And even at the start of the comic book, you had the New Warriors doing their like reality show thing, and they just we fucked up and blew up an entire school, murdering like countless children. So that's why in the comic book
we do that in real life.
Right. It's imagine. I mean, there's a reason. As the police are bad, the police are fucking bad. All cops are bad.
ACAB.
ACAB. I think they'd be worse if they were
Fuck off,
privatized.
bastards.
I think.
Yeah.
I think they'd be even worse if they were privatized.
Yeah.
Look at prisons. Prisons are worse when they're privatized.
Right.
So as much as you can, as many rightful spears you could throw at at our democracy, privatizing important things that wield power over other people's lives is almost always bad.
I don't hate our democracy. I'm saying I don't trust our government. And privatized things are not bad because they're privatized.
They wield power over people.
They're not bad because they're privatized.
Not
and they don't hold
inherently
power
bad.
over people because they're privatized. They're bad because there's a profit motive. And so if you're not driven by profits, so if you're not driven by capitalism, which no superhero teams are, I guess Shield would be, but then that doesn't really, like, privatized prisons are bad because they lobby to make it easier to go to prison because they want to stay rich. Like that's why, not because they're private.
So
That's true. That's very true.
We are doing that thing again that you described, though, where, like, yes, okay, in superhero land, of course, there's all these good guys, and they're good guys. They're just always good guys. I would definitely say that if we apply just some real world realism to it, which obviously there's not there, but if we applied some realism to it, I think that the world would become a hellscape if it was left up to these countless, like, hundreds of people who just happen to have, like, incredible powers to govern themselves.
So check this out. I'll say this last thing, and then Miracle Man, you haven't talked, so
yeah. Sorry.
Here's the deal. We know that real world superheroes would actually be the nukes. That's what would happen. They would actually be in charge of everything because that's how the food chain works.
Right.
They would be in charge of the government because they would have killed us off 1,000 years ago, and they would be in charge.
It'd be Brightburn. It wouldn't be Superman.
100%.
Right.
So, damn it.
I'd be Superman.
But
here's the deal. So what we know is that the idea of a government being able to control them through legislation is ridiculous. They can only police themselves because only they have the power to police themselves. Then when you place them under control, when you ask them to let me control you, then now you are saying that it is this U.S. government that gets to decide when you let us to do what to do and not to do. We control the military, and I can only say so much. The military is great. Yay. But I will say this much. There are times when the military is wielded in responsible ways, and throughout history, not just the United States, but throughout history, military might has been used in evil ways. In a world where only superheroes can play superheroes, you gotta fucking leave it up to them. And I'm not gonna fucking, if I'm Captain America, I don't know.
So you kind of hit the nail right on the head. We do have a military, and they're used irresponsibly frequently, most of the time. But I still would take them over the militia groups. Do you know what I mean? Have you? You know what I'm saying?
Depends, though. What about the?
We have militia groups in the U.S.
And this is a bad example because in the Civil War world, the United States is not Nazi Germany, but militia groups who are deciding to overthrow Nazi Germany, those are not privatized, they're not governed, but they are good to have. And if they said, "Hey, we'll change our ways a little bit, but you need to follow under our control," then you would say, "No, you want them to be autonomous because they're fighting Nazi Germany."
It's like luck of the draw then, because the militia groups in the U.S. are fucking scary. They are. They're
they're domestic terrorists and they're white supremacists. Yeah,
right. Yeah, they're horrible. So it's like, well, I sure hope that these militia groups are the good ones, and not the good ones that fight the Nazis, and not the bad ones that are trying to lynch people and become
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's that luck of the draw factor. Is why I don't really trust unregulated superheroes.
Do you think the United States could regulate superheroes if they existed? Like, you think that would even be an option?
Absolutely not. It wouldn't even be on the table. It's a conversation about pretend things.
No. Yeah. Pretend it's real though, and sometimes you can. I can't think of a real world analogy right now, but sometimes you're like, hey, just let me control you. Just like, all right, and then you're wielded irresponsibly. If I'm Captain America and I see like you couldn't do it anyway, and if we did follow your rules, your fucking country's fucked. Like your whole system's fucked. I see what you do with the military. You're not going to do the same thing with superpowered beings. And then Tony Stark's like, nah, trust him. President Trump will work well with you guys. And I don't know. All right.
So yeah,
said Ultimate Universe explored this. That would be interesting. I did not read that arc.
Yeah, it did kind of. Was it Ultimate or was it Squadron Supreme that did it? I thought it might have been. Both might have done it because they did a Straczynski did a Squadron Supreme run, about right around the time
Ultimate Power,
and before that, he actually had 2 standalone Squadron Supreme stories. And they kind of do the same thing there because it's essentially the Justice League in a real world universe, you know, and the Power Prism guy, you know, he's an Air Force pilot. He's very much Hal Jordan, but you know, he's an Air Force pilot, which means he takes orders. He works for the government, you know, you know, the Hyperion, he was raised in a lab with fake parents, you know, who were terrified of him because they knew that he could just squeeze them and crush them into juice at any point that they wanted to do it, you know. So in a real world situation, all of these things are terrifying. We can't have them. The only way in the Marvel universe that was even an option for them to regulate superheroes is because, by and large, most of them were responsible enough to allow the government to try to regulate them. In real world, you put out, hey, real world superheroes, you know, you guys like have gotten a lot of people killed here, so we're going to start regulating you. They would just say no, right, right. I'm going to fry your whole family from here. Goodbye, you know. So there's you know, you couldn't do that in the real world at all. In the real world, you'd want it. In the comic book world, you wouldn't, because those guys are better than the government in the comic book world.
Right.
The government's not great in the real world, but the superheroes would be worse.
It's a difficult conversation to have because the Marvel universe is so wildly different from the real world, and really the least of it is people with superpowers. It's really just a completely different fucking universe, completely different rules. That it's, you know, sometimes when you make the comparison, you're forced to apply Marvel logic to the real world, and sometimes when you make the comparison, you're to do the other thing, apply the real world logic to the Marvel world, and neither of it really works. So it's a difficult conversation to have because it's really, what is the analogy? What is the actual real world analogy? What do you apply it to?
Whichever one supports my argument.
Right.
I think real world superheroes regulated by the government would be like ICE with superpowers. I think that's the best way you could. They would be a government entity that would be completely autonomous from the government and able to do whatever the hell they want. The president would be like, "Hey, stop deporting those people," and ICE would be like, and they would just keep doing it anyway. Right. You know, because they didn't listen to Biden when he told them to stop. They just kept doing it. And I think you know, a regulated superhero group would be like a superpowered militia in America if it was there right now.
Agree with Eva on that one. Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yep, cool. That's so that was fun. I don't think it's the last time we'll ever talk about it, but that was good. So did you guys make it to the LCS today?
Yeah, yes, but I left my books in the other room. I got to go grab them.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm waiting for that stack of comics to start shuffling away and then come back. So here, I'll show off mine real quick. I'm gonna embiggen myself.
I did get some last week though, so I can show those.
I'm embiggened. Okay, so I'm really into this Kieran Gillen Eternals run. It's interesting. It's different. It's what are you doing? Look at this creature. Look what I have to deal with. So I got this Eternals run, and I haven't cracked this one open yet, but I'm excited to. My boy right here.
Department.
I'm dying to read this.
Flip it.
This is the best series I've read in a while. This is outstanding.
It's a great issue.
Cannot recommend it enough. Please get into it. It's about everything. It's about all the stuff we like to talk about. It's about like conspiracies and like I feel like QAnon or Canon.
QAnon. Anon is anonymous. QAnon.
Okay, QAnon. I feel like that like was direct inspiration for this, so it has a lot of fun with like that kind of stuff.
But there's real conspiracy in there, though. conspiracies?
The premise is that if enough people believe in a conspiracy, it starts to become true, and there's a government department designed to stop that from happening. Because
wow.
yeah, it's fucking insane.
Oh wow. Okay.
I had to get this, and this one's interesting because it's not written by Donny Cates. It said Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw, but then it was crossed over, and instead it says Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah, they're like besties, and they do that shit. Yeah,
they're being silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm still reading this.
I'm surprised there wasn't something on Twitter that talked about how Chip Zdarsky stole the comic book or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that they'll bring this into Twitter. I'm reading Young Hellboy by Mike Mignola, which I'm kind of enjoying, even though I'm kind of enjoying it. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that.
Is it silly?
It's silly. I'm reading it because I started reading it and now I can't stop. But not because not because I can't stop because it's so good. I can't stop because I started it and I have issues.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to enlarge Robo real quick because he's about to hold up some comics.
Sure. All right. So I got bamboozled, and I'm going to find out if it was maybe it was a blessing in disguise. So I got the bad idea stuff, and then the dude's like, I also threw in Fear Case. Did you want all Fear Case? I'm like, oh, Fear Case, man, I haven't heard of that one. I go, we're 4 in, and so he sends me all of them out. And I'm going through it. I'm like, man, I don't remember seeing this. And it's Boom. I mean, it's Dark Horse.
You're so big. Oh my god.
It's Dark
Horse.
You're
so big right now.
Hell yeah. What else did I get? I got already got those are bad ideas. So, you know me in covers. I got this one.
It's not shiny.
Nice.
It's not shiny. However, Something is Killing the Children, number 17. Her shirt, her eyes, and this mouth is glow in the dark.
Ooh.
So if you put it in, you'd see like this glowing, and then her eyes glowing, and it's actually Oh,
I can't wait to read this in the dark. It's gonna be so good.
And then I got Good Luck number 1 with Boom Studios. Haven't heard a word about it, but
shiny. Shiny.
And then of course, here's Returns number 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's good.
That's pretty much it. I showed you the hardcovers I got last week, and now I'm small again.
So, Man of the Miracle.
I might have a couple of books.
Might have a couple of books.
Here we go.
I had a couple. All right. So you guys are getting to see them first. I haven't even shown them on Not Near Mint yet. So you guys are getting the preview.
I'm gonna make sure everybody knows when I go on your show that happens in an hour and a half.
So here we got By the Horns number 3 from Scout. You got either of you guys read this?
No.
Looks cool though.
Is it good?
Fucking dope coat.
Looks like a bunch of psycho unicorns.
So I'm gonna just give you the first. This is issue 3. It's a fantasy world with lots of crazy creatures. This is like a giant eye monster. This is like some goat pony or wolf pony. A couple unicorns.
I've always wanted a goat pony.
She has a sword, but she also carries like this little laser blaster. So in the beginning, she is somebody going around killing unicorns, and by issue 3, she's got 2 unicorns with her. Yeah, but unicorns are dicks, so it's okay. It's a great book. It's from Scout. I cannot recommend it enough. The art's fantastic. I'll give you a little sneak preview there. Look at that.
Ooh.
And a lot of people can't draw a horse. And here's a person who can draw a horse. Look at that.
Doesn't Frazetta do it all the time? Or
I think
a horse. Never mind.
He draws horses too. Here's from the guy who people say can't draw feet. But this is the Jerry Ordway cover, so feet galore.
I see some feet. Yeah.
That's Jerry Ordway though.
Okay. Any feet in the interior? Nope.
Yeah,
just
right
feet.
Right up there at the top. It's
they
look like hooves though. Weird.
Yeah, he draws feet. He avoids them, but he does draw them. It's actually fun. It's a one shot, but I don't want to ruin it. But I like the Archie superheroes. They're ridiculous. I love them. Midnight Western Theater, another Scout book.
Ooh, that looks cool. Is it black and white?
It's no, the interiors are in color.
Oh,
the interiors are in color. And it's a very different art style on the interior. think it's like an anthology. I missed the first issue, but I love this cover, so I grabbed it. And of course, I got that crossover too. I got that Department of Truth.
Nice.
Yo, this is the one right here, though. Came out today. You Promised Me Darkness.
That's a dope title.
Oh, dude. I can't describe it, but did you ever read like old school Mystery Men, like from the Flaming Carrot days?
Oh, yeah, the Flaming Carrot days. Those were my fave.
Yeah. So it's kind of got a little bit of that vibe, but it's also got like some sci-fi, some magic. There's a group of superheroes who've been mostly wiped out. They're not even main characters. They're like sideline characters. It's being told by like this space alien who like every issue is like, oh, it's 13 days till the apocalypse. Oh, it's 10 days to the apocalypse. Oh, it's 8 days to the apocalypse.
Oh, the old Spawn counter.
I don't know what's going on, but it's cool, and I'm loving it.
Oh.
Parasomnia. This is from Cullen Bunn.
Ooh.
Dark Horse.
Ooh, he's doing some Shadow Man these days.
And it's Andre Muti, who just did Maniac of New York, doing the art.
Nice.
So
that looks
very
good.
nice. Yeah, really good. And Cullen Bunn writing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From our friends over at Vault, here's Barbaric #1.
Ooh, Relikes Vault.
I don't know how I missed they did a Vault Vintage, which is like a Conan cover homage. Fuck, I don't know how I missed it, but I couldn't find it. Teen Titans Academy 2021 yearbook. There's Red X. He's doing his Red X there.
Ooh.
Yeah. We only find them when they're dead.
Oh, what issue is that?
7.
7. Have I reached 7 yet? I don't think so. I need to.
7 just came out today.
Means volumes 1 has
Why-
to come out soon.
Why didn't my LCS, man? They didn't even have it on the shelf. I didn't even know it was out. I need to
it
get
came
the
out
hold of
today.
it.
I can't show you this cover, but I got Money Shot today. There's
Very
the covering.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Infinite Frontier Spectacular from DC, or sorry, Secret Files.
Yeah, I got that last week.
That came out last
Yeah.
week?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I
Or
just
no,
got it this week.
Infinite Frontier #1.
Right. This is Secret Files.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't get that last week. You're
Yeah,
right.
so this is actually, it gives you a whole bunch of like background information on these characters and stuff. If you're new to the DC. But if you're new to DC, I don't know why you'd buy this anyway, because this is like, this is a fanboy's wet dream book.
Intermediate DC. Yeah.
And here we go. Last but not least this week, the Green Arrow 80th anniversary with a gorgeous Michael Cho variant cover.
Ooh, wow. I love those 80th anniversary square bounds.
They're so great.
They're so good.
There's a Daniel Warren Johnson cover.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
kicking myself for not having got it. I don't know if it shows it in the back here. No, they don't. The final story in this book is a farewell to Dennis O'Neil written by his son.
Oh, that's
It's very nice. Very nice. Very nice little last story.
Yeah.
Wasn't his last story that he illustrated was in the Green Lantern 80th anniversary, right?
Yeah, that was his last one.
Wow.
So
legacy.
Yeah. It's kind of told like a fast forwarding of somebody getting old in a Pixar movie. It's style, like there's no dialogue. It's these little scenes that do different times in his life that kind of convey the story, and but it's nice, and it says goodbye, Pop, at the end, and it's like, if you lost a parent, man, that just yanks you right on the heartstring then,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What a legend he was.
Oh yeah.
So we have some interesting comic book news items. I can hear my cat screaming and it's really throwing me off. I'll be right there, Coco. That's a lie. Anyway, so check this out. More Phoenix. The Phoenix is never going away. That's just us. There's only going to be more Phoenix. So Echo is embracing the cosmic power of the Phoenix Force in a new comic book series by Rebecca Roanhorse. So Rebecca Roanhorse and Luca Maresca are bringing us Phoenix Song: Echo #1. So that's like the third Phoenix event that has song in the title, because I know there was Phoenix End Song and Phoenix War Song. So this one's just Phoenix Song Echo. But anyway, the Phoenix Force has chosen a new host. Spinning directly out of Jason Aaron's Avengers storyline, Enter the Phoenix, comes Phoenix Song Echo, a brand new series from Hugo Award-winning novelist Rebecca Roanhorse and rising star Luca Maresca. Roanhorse previously wrote the Cheyenne hero in last year's Marvel Voices, Indigenous Voices #1, and now returns to the saga of Maya Lopez as she deals with her biggest transformation yet. The exhilarating story will be packed with revelations about both Echo's ancestry and the Phoenix Force mythos, as well as the debut of new heroes and the shocking return of an X-Men iconic villain. And I was looking at forever to try to figure out who this iconic villain is, and I have no idea, so that's exciting. But what kind of iconic X-Men villain could return? Cameron Hodge? Please let it be Cameron Hodge.
When was the last time we saw the Blob?
Are you talking about Blob or the Blob?
Blob.
Blob. He's currently on New Mutants, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, you're talking pink guy where you could see a skeleton inside his.
No, not that guy. I'm sorry, the Blob.
The Blob.
The,
Okay.
the large, the heavy set gentleman.
Yeah. The movie
yeah.
Club.
He's pretty classic.
Him. Yeah.
I always see that picture from Ultimate X-Men pop up where he's like eating someone. Is like terrifying.
Wasp. He eats Janet.
Yeah, he eats Janet Van Dyne. God. Yeah, maybe the Blob. That would definitely be what did they say? They did a shocking return. That would definitely be a shocking return.
Did he get his powers back after X-Men 198?
No, I think I mean if he did, they didn't show it, but
Okay.
that was gross, right? He was all like deflated.
Yeah, he had all that extra skin that he was just like
So
over his shoulder.
After M Day, when all the mutants lost their power, the Glob, this like giant type hero, his loss of power means that he just deflated. Like all of his fat was gone, and he was just like baggy. It was the weirdest thing.
Oh, here it is. Wait, do I have a picture of it? Hold on.
Oh, you have it? You have it?
I might. Hold on. I might have it.
Danny says Blob currently has powers. Okay.
Oh, he does? Okay. All right.
Good to know. Thank you.
It's just type in the Blob when he lost weight. I can't bring up a good picture. You'll see what I'm talking about.
No.
He looks horrible, man. He looks so bad.
Oh wow.
It's like you know what? He looks like he's covered in foreskin.
Just like
yeah.
He's like one giant foreskin.
like
a reverse circumcision. Take everything else, leave the foreskin.
That, and then we will.
Oh, are you about to show
Oh,
it?
there he is. There he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet he gives the best hugs.
That would feel so gross.
It's kind of like
good for him.
Cuddle up in the folds. Yeah.
Yeah, like a blanket. It's like a blanket and a hug. So check this out. Todd McFarlane, Booth, Tan, and more unite for King Spawn. So Image Comics has revealed a peek at the upcoming first issue of King Spawn, a new series that will be Spawn creator Todd McFarlane's first monthly comic devoted to the character since 1992. Although he has done some like short arcs in the meantime, but I guess this will be his ongoing. Aside from McFarlane, a superstar creative team of big names has been assembled for the series, including Sean Lewis, Brett Booth, Javier Fernandez, Steven Segovia, Marcio Takara, and Philip Tan. Philip Tan did such a good job with the Armageddon, the Spawn Armageddon saga. He's definitely one of my favorite Spawn artists. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Oh yeah.
That will definitely be cool.
That Spawn universe was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Good.
I have to say, I tried to read all the 90s Spawn in order, and I made it pretty far, but it's just fucking bad. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just bad. It's like, for a while, there's no story. There's literally no story. It's just you know what I'm talking about. Have you read these?
Yeah, oh yeah. So I have like the first 75 issues of Spawn. Because other than issue 1, you could pick them all up in the cheapest pile of comics you can find. You know, like the first 50 or so issues were so hairy. That's a whole thing. So, you know, you could pick them up really, really cheap. So I had been putting them together for years long before issue 300 got here. Whenever I found them for, you know, next to nothing, I throw them in there. And I bought like the first issue for like $7. You know,
it's surprisingly accessible for being like a key of some sort. But...
Right. Well, I think that first issue had like almost 1 million print run. It was a lot.
Yeah,
it was.
It was a lot. What a it's weird to me how Spawn got so popular when it was terrible, and now it's like really good. Like the last few Spawn things I've read recently are like so good, but it's like it's not even known for. It's like it made its name with that 90s shit. So go figure, man. I'll never understand the comic book industry.
Yeah, the fact that Spawn is still published, even though the original creator like has next to nothing to do with it.
Right? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I thought Spawn 300 was awesome, and I thought the subsequent issues have been pretty good. I've read most of them.
Yeah.
And I thought Spawn Universe was a lot of fun. I'm excited for King Spawn, but man, it's like it just got good. In my opinion, it just got good.
I found some issues right around 250, and I would agree with you. It just got good.
Yeah. Man, if only everyone had 300 issues to get good, you know? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, you know, it had the benefit of being very much form over substance in the days of form over substance. You know, there was a point in time where people were like, ooh, pretty picture. You know, it didn't matter that literally every single issue of Spawn for like the first 100 had horrible typos and editing mistakes and layout problems. I mean, it was terrible. If you go back and look at those books, I guarantee you will count a typo in every single issue. 100%. And it's not even a typo because it's hand lettering, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a write-o.
A write-o.
Hey, question for you guys before we continue. What is the? Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Sorry, Danny. That is also good, but what's the right way to pronounce subsequent?
Subsequent.
Is it subsequent? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm an idiot. When I was a little boy reading Goosebump books, I thought the word grotesque was grotesque for like 10 years. So.
Dude, that's not bad. I once referred to I was once speaking to an Episcopalian priest when I called it episcopal. So don't feel bad at all.
Episcopal.
With a straight face too.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Robo still calls aspartame aspartame, and I don't correct him anymore. I just I just let it ride. Yeah. Yeah.
This is
so
a true story. I thought you were gonna say a lie. I'm like,
no. It's a true story.
I'm good with words, and then I'm like, no, that's a good one. Yeah,
you also say GIF instead of GIF, but that's defensible, even if I don't agree. It's defensible.
I can't stop. I would stop if it were proven to me to be wrong.
I don't get heated about it because yeah, that's what the original. It's a fact that the original person who invented the GIF called it a GIF.
Yeah.
So 100% defensible.
Most people don't. I'm okay with that. I will say we're not going to go to a whole thing about it, but I was thinking about like what if everybody? Why don't I? Well, here's why. For the same reason why you were reading Grotesque for so long. I'm old, right? So I'm old, but I've been a nerd for a long time. So I've been playing video games and been on the computer since like 95. Yeah. And so I've only seen GIF in written and not hearing people say it, you know? And so I've always said GIF my whole life. It wasn't until into my 20s that people were like, you say GIF? I'm like, what? And then I thought I was saying it wrong. And then the creator said what he said. I was like, I'm not changing the way I say it. Everyone says GIF.
I disagree with how Pauly criticizes it. Like I
haven't heard one good thing except for yours, which is everyone says GIF. So why not just say GIF? And I'm like, but the only part I disagree with you on is that everyone
jumped off a bridge.
Well, no. Nobody doesn't know what I think. I know what I'm saying.
That's a terrible analogy, by the way, Judah, because if everybody jumped off the bridge, it's probably because there was a fucking reason. Okay, like nobody jumps off the bridge for no reason, Judah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Oh my God. What are you doing? I don't know. Everyone just jumped off. I'm not fucking staying here.
Right.
Yeah, like fuck.
Nice.
You guys
Eva,
are the best.
Eva, I know this is in your lane. Please explain.
I missed it. What did
I thought she was saying like I thought she was going to drop a bomb like GIFs are actually not GIFs anymore. They're this other protocol.
They're schmageggies.
Yeah.
Oh, you still call them GIFs? You call the schmageggies GIFs? Boomer.
Well, she would know.
She would know. So check this out. Is DC Comics? Let me try to use my curious voice. is DC Comics teasing an all new a new All-Star Squadron comic book series? So check this out. Was that convincing? All-Star Squadron is a DC Comics superhero team that debuted in Justice League of America number 193. One of my favorite issues of Justice League, by the way. It was a good one. Yeah. In 1981, it was created by Roy Thomas, Rick Buckler, and Jerry Ordway. So what's up, Coco? Jeez, she just keeps coming back. This isn't. I'm not showing her off. I'm just trying to keep her quiet.
You know what? Come here.
Taking place in the 1940s, retconned into DC Comics continuity of the day. The team included Golden Age characters, new characters, and characters that had been bought from other publishers over the years in a series of acquisitions. The team starred in their own series, All-Star Squadron, which ran from 81 to 87. Spin-off series entitled Young All-Stars began in 1987 and published 32 issues, but blah, 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 blah. Anyway, in this week's Teen Titans Academy 2021 yearbook, we're teased what may be a return and what may be a parody ad, but also a possible tease. We're told that All-Star Squadron is a mobile app coming this autumn. A lot of words for like a medium level.
I lost you in the middle. Can you start in the middle and go again?
So the reality is, I was a DC fan when that book was coming out originally.
All-Star Squadron mobile app.
The reality is, yeah, I've got it right here, and I it's definitely just a bunk ad. It's a whole bunch of, because it's a yearbook. This is set up like a yearbook. So here's your pictures, here's your group photo, here's the ads you get in your yearbook. There's one for Daily Planet, Star, Terrific Tech, and there's your All-Star Squadron one. So
it's coming back.
Well, I mean, if it is, I'll read the shit out of it. But if you don't have, I don't think you obviously can have Roy Thomas involved because he's like 175. Like, I don't think he's allowed to speak anymore. I think he mumbles and somebody translates when he does interviews and stuff. Right? Yeah. Not to be disrespectful, but I did hear a story that Jack Kirby refused to,
in the most respectful way possible,
refused to go back to Marvel because of Roy Thomas. But I don't know if that's true. But you know, you have to have some of those original creators on it because you're never going to be able to capture that same feeling of what made All-Star Squadron good.
Lightning in a bottle, huh?
It really was. It really was. Are you guys familiar with the character Amazing Man?
No.
Okay, sounds
amazing.
He is pretty amazing. So there's a long history with the character Amazing Man. I'm sure you're familiar with the Golden Age cover where it's a guy tied up on the cover and there's a snake there and he's trying to escape from that. You're familiar with that? Okay, so that's your very first Amazing Man. That's from Centaur Publications. That company went out of business back in the early 50s. Centaur Publications, yeah. The original Amazing Man for DC Comics was, I believe his name is Will Everett, African-American man. And during World War II, you know,
not to be confused with Bill Everett.
Yeah, correct. I think his name was Will. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I think that's right. He was actually recently used as a piece of promo art, and he may have been used in the digital-only series from Tom Taylor, which was the Injustice Year Zero. No, that's Mark Gruenwald.
Mark Gruenwald.
Okay. So Amazing Man. Anyway, Amazing Man was created by Roy Thomas, and I have heard from some comic historians I am friends with that he put Amazing Man in the book to kind of course correct how he had treated people of color in comics in the past. If you go back and look at some old Roy Thomas comics, there you go. There's Amazing Man.
There it is.
If you go look at some old Roy Thomas comics from the Golden Age, you'll see that. Well, I mean, I don't think anybody could believe people of color spoke the way he wrote that dialogue. We'll just put it that way.
Okay, so, I think I get an idea.
Bad. Yeah, pretty bad. Anyway, okay. I'm sorry, I got way off base. But that whole series, again, lightning in a bottle. You had a perfect confluence. It led into the Crisis on Infinite Earths. They kind of got to revamp everything and mold it with the new Earth. So it mattered for the longest time, and then they totally abandoned it. Flashpoint, and that's been about it.
Interesting. Keeping track of DC is such a full-time job. It's amazing. It's amazing that you can do it. Just like the stuff that comes and goes and comes back again.
Mm.
I like having you on the show, by the way, Miracle, because you know a lot of stuff.
Well, I've been a nerd for 40 years.
Everything, yeah.
So
you know a lot of stuff. I love it.
There's people who know a lot, and I'm constantly impressed with you, Judah. But there's people you meet that know a lot, and then there's people you
everything
meet that know fucking everything.
Yeah.
Gregory Markolips in 1942. He released and it's like, what the fuck?
coincidentally enough, and I can't recommend this enough because it was really, really good. That Amazing Man is now a public domain character. And if you go to, I forget which print-on-demand comic site it is, but one of the print-on-demand comic sites, you can actually order modern Amazing Man comics, and they are fucking fire. They are really done well.
Nice.
So I'll
have
send you
to
that
check
link.
out.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by Amazing Man.
Yeah.
So I don't really like mobile gaming. In fact, I hate mobile gaming. I can't do it. It's too like my big sausage thumbs, and it's just always an unpleasant experience for me. But anyway, for those of you who do, Marvel Future Revolution aims to raise the quality and the scope of comic book games on mobile. So Marvel games have been few and far between on consoles, but on mobile projects based on the comic book universe and everywhere, Marvel Puzzle Quest, Contest of Champions, which I only know from excessive Instagram ads, Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Realm of Champions, and Marvel Hero Tales, players won't find a shortage of titles on iOS or Android devices. That can make it hard for new Marvel, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to skip all this bullshit. It's because there's more games coming. So there's this Marvel Future Revolution thing, and there's going to be more games coming, and they're going to be better.
My problem with mobile gaming is that they all exist for one reason and one reason only. And it's to make money. Right there. It's that's all it's. I have yet to find a mobile game that's like action RPG type stuff that isn't about microtransactions and then kind of getting you to a point where it's like, this is fun, right? Man, that sucks. You can't make it past this next level. If only you just gave like $1.99 and then you could just boost your shit up.
Robo's Farm is doing so well right now.
You know what's funny? Straight up used to play Farmville. The Facebook app on the desktop. I'm like, let me watch.
I feel like we all have at least one experience with that. Like there was this Mafia game that I was into.
Yes.
I was so into it until I realized that it doesn't go anywhere. You just make more money.
That's it.
That's it. Nothing else changes.
But some people's brains are able to do that, and then you meet the people with like $20 million. I'm like,
what? You're not in the Mafia anymore. Now you're like, you've taken over the world.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that's coming. Yeah. I just hate mobole gaming. One day maybe there'll be.
I had a Flappy Bird, and this is how bad I am. Like, I wouldn't call myself a speculator. I just think things are cool, and I want that thing. Like, I don't buy this because I think it's gonna be money one day. I bought it because literally it's shiny, which is probably more stupid. Flappy Bird, when that whole news came out where it got taken off the App Store,
I put the phone on eBay.
I didn't delete it for like the longest time. I like oh, I got an app, like, and then I'll go, you got Flappy Bird? No, I can't find it. They took it down. I'm like, I got it.
I tried to sell a phone because for a while phones with Flappy Bird were blowing up on eBay. So I had a phone that had Flappy Bird, and I tried to sell it on eBay, and eBay took it down. eBay took it down. I guess it's like you're not allowed to sell a phone that has a game on it for some reason.
What?
Wow.
eBay's weird. eBay's weird.
Yeah. eBay is
Trouble
weird.
Still has PT on his PS4. What's PT? I don't know what that is.
So, this is our daily Donnie
guy.
Daily Donnie Cates news, because for some reason it just always comes up. Please take us off your blacklist and be on our show. But anyway,
why do you hate us? You know what?
Why do you hate us?
Keep hating us. I'm okay with you hating us.
Yeah, I've given up on you, Donnie.
Just tell me why. That's all I want to know.
So we were good fans. We loved Donnie. We saw him at Comic-Con. We bought all his stuff, and then maybe we just tweeted him a few too many times. But now he just doesn't respond to us, and he won't be on our show. And
people who have like even 1 degree of connection to him suddenly stop.
Yeah.
We brought this up before, and it hurts, you know? We say we don't care, but it's like writing a song about your ex. Like no one writes a song about an ex they're over. And
Right.
What's up?
Donnie,
What's up,
we just can't-
CWBYH?
Right.
Comics will break your heart. Donnie,
Hey,
So anyway,
I can't quit you.
just so you know, I just put that link in there. It's Indie Planet was the print-on-demand site I was talking about, and that book is John Amon, Amazing Man.
Indie Planet.
Wonderful.
So I just put it in the private chat there if you'd like to see it. That's the link right to it.
In case you didn't know, we have a private chat.
Yeah,
It's private.
it's in the IFL. It's in the the StreamYard private chat. StreamYard.
Don't want to brag, but Donnie Cates follows me. Should I stop hanging out here? Michael, can you just go ahead and boot next issue podcast? I'm just kidding. Don't do it. I'm just kidding. That's great. Awesome. That's great.
That's fucking.
You have to retract that.
You know what? We don't even.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Good for you.
Super fucking happy.
Way to go. That's real.
That's legitimately awesome.
Yeah, real fucking awesome.
Yeah, fucking.
I got added into a list by Paul Chadwick the other day that says comic peeps, and I nerded out about that for about 20 to 30 minutes straight. I told all kinds of people, and they were like, "Who the fuck's Paul Chadwick? That's awesome. Who is that?"
But are you listed? Are you listed on We Freaking Love Comics?
I don't think so.
That's a big one. That's exclusive.
It's very exclusive.
Ooh.
So, speaking of Garland raised Donnie Cates, Garland, Texas, that's where he's from. God Country, we already knew this, but there's been some new developments. To God Country, which, okay, fine, it is a really good comic book. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah, Stephen Butler. Stephen Butler's involved. So
nice.
Yeah.
So Donnie's movie for God Country is getting a film adaptation. It's going to be set in West Texas. It's going to be helmed by the same showrunner as Netflix's Sweet Tooth, Legendary Entertainment. And they've announced Jim Mickle, who most recently served as the Sweet Tooth showrunner, which is also based on a comic, if you didn't know, is going to be directing this movie. So, yeah, that'll be cool. The idea has been described. If you haven't read it, it's really good. It's what if Thor's hammer had landed in a trailer park.
Really?
Donnie Cates lives in Austin. He's close. I could drive to his house right now and probably get there before the morning.
And ask why he's blacklisted us. And
just wait in front of his door until he agrees to be on our show. But anyway, yeah, so that's happening. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. It still breaks my heart, Robo. I don't know how to talk about this without getting sad.
Yeah, look, I don't even care anymore.
I don't care either.
I don't care that he's blacklisted us. I don't care that anyone connected with him has agreed to come on the show and then fucking just straight up ghosted us and never fucking wrote back.
I so don't care, but do you think he even remembers who we are?
Do you think he thinks about us at night?
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit either way, but
I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care,
don't care if he does.
Don't care if he does.
But if he thinks about us, do you think it hurts? Do you think he thinks about us and it goes he feels bad sometimes?
I just hope he also remembers the good times, you know.
You know what? I want the best for him.
Yeah.
Whatever he's doing, I hope he's happy.
I hope he's happy. Although, how could he be? You know what I mean?
I mean, he'll never find another us. But
he'll never find another us. We were the best thing that ever fucking happened to him, and he threw it away. So anyway, that didn't get weird. So
he's definitely watching right now.
Right.
I need everybody in the chat to believe he's watching right now, and it will be true.
He was finally coming by to check out the show to see if he'd come on, and you guys were like, "Fuck Donnie!" And he was
that was the part. He's like,
"Guys,
whoa!" Can you imagine?
Whoa!
We saw the link. Somebody was like, "Hey, do you still hate those guys?" And he's like, "You know what? Let me check out the show. Let me go check out the show." Fuck Donnie Cates. He's like, nope.
Yeah. I should check in on him just to see if he's okay. You know what I mean? I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah. Next time I'm drunk, I just shoot him a real quick text and just be like, look, I know that I shouldn't be doing this. I just wanted to say hi and see how you were doing. You know what?
Yeah.
Just lose my number. Fuck you.
Text him with a real long, "What up, girl?"
What?
Hi.
Now, you know what? I think that would actually be going overboard, actually, hitting him up. So what we'll do is we'll just hit up every person he knows and asks, "Hey, how's Donnie Cates doing?" Don't tell him I asked this, though.
it'd be super weird if we like wrote him an email asking. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
I wrote him. I didn't write him. I wrote the assistant because I want to know on a professional level. Like, what do we do?
What do we do?
What do we do? That's all right.
Yep.
Wasn't weird.
So
I didn't cry.
So moving on to Star Wars, this is our last thing. Excuse me, I'm so gassy today. I don't know what's going on.
You got a little mute button right there on your thing.
I'm super gassy. I think it was Sammy made me this delicious, super healthy tofu thing. And
what you were about to say about Star Wars was way more interesting.
Yeah. So check it out. Rogue Squadron director Patty Jenkins says the film will bring a new era to the mythology. So filmmaker Patty Jenkins, you might know her from Wonder Woman, has a wealth of mythology to embrace from the Legends corner of the Star Wars saga. She also recently pointed out that her upcoming Star Wars Rogue Squadron would take the concept into a new fucking era to embrace unexplored elements of the franchise. From the first time the project was announced, Jenkins made it clear how much she wanted to make the best fighter pilot movie of all time, which sounds great. With it sounding as though the previous adventures featuring the squadron helped her establish the tone and setting, as the adventure itself will pave a new path for Star Wars. It's going to hit theaters December 22nd. I hope Corran Horn is part of the movie. He's one of my favorite Legends characters in the. So, for anyone who doesn't know, there's a book series called Rogue Squadron in the old Star Wars Legends universe that's somewhat canon. Was somewhat canon at one point in time, which Robo admitted just last week. So we don't even have to fight about it.
Nope.
But anyway, so it was good, and it had like characters I really love. There's a villainess called Yasan Izzard, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. YSANNEISARD. Oh, Michael's out. Oh,
he went that night.
Good night, Michael. Do you think he's still thinking about us? No, I'm just yeah. So
he didn't say love you. He didn't say I love you.
He did 3 hearts, but normally he does 4 hearts.
He said love you, not I love you.
I love you. Yeah. I see how it is. So anyway, I think I'm really excited for this Rogue Squadron shit. I think it's gonna be fucking cool. And I think it's exactly what we need. We need a Star Wars movie with a lot of space fighting, because I feel like that's the missing ingredient. I love The Mandalorian. No space to space fighting. I love all this shit. Even, we need more space. So really excited about this.
I can't wait till they do a Star Wars that is like obeys the laws of physics, and anytime it's in space, it's completely silent. I want silence.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen.
They sort of did that. They sort of did that in the.
When the ship blew up.
Yeah. Well, when what's her name's sister who dies?
Right.
Through the thing. The better Tycho. Sorry, that's uncalled for. But anyway, she saves the day by like releasing all the bombs. But during that scene, it was a really cool scene, and space is silent with the battle going on. It was actually a really cool effect.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's the news. That's what we got. And you're correct. Rose is the one who survived. I liked the sister. I thought she was cool. Anyway,
Firefly.
That's.
I heard Firefly was a ripoff of something else. I was just watching a TikTok about that. How Firefly was actually a ripoff of some other book that did something.
Schmeierfly by Schmoss Schmieden.
Schmeier by.
Yeah, sounds accurate.
All right, you guys, take it easy. Bye.
Wait, what?
All right. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, all right.
Michael, I called you Michael. Miracle Man. Not Near Mint is starting in 51 minutes. I don't think anybody in our chat doesn't know that.
Let's do a raid. Everybody go over to Not Near Mint when this is done.
You should definitely. I mean, don't come over right away because you'll be waiting a while.
For like 51. Let's go sit in the chat over there.
You'll get fucking bored before we even go live. No guests tonight. We're just hanging out on the show. We do have some. I can't even tell you. We do have some really rad guests coming up. An artist, and we've got a hard maybe from the writer of a book that I talk about all the time. Might have even shown the book tonight. Maybe. maybe.
Hmm.
Coming up next month. We have a couple of friends who are doing some Kickstarters coming in, and forget who else. If you haven't seen it yet, though, check out our first Sunday episode we did last Sunday. It's up on the channel right now. It's for A Wave Blue World. Go take a look at that one, and if you like awesome comics, go back their new Kickstarter. Obviously, I don't have that book here because
Is that Matt Miner?
It's this one's going to be Eric Palicki and Joe Carollo. I don't think Matt's on this one, but it's the sequel to Deadbeats.
Ah, nice.
Cool.
And my Deadbeats is really sweet. Actually, I was showing this because I have the infamous Renfamous's autograph right there.
Nice. That's
Right in
dope.
the center. She even drew a mailbox.
That's awesome.
For those of you who know the mailbox story. So
we should get her back. She was fun.
Yeah, Ren cool as fuck.
Yeah, she's awesome. I don't have she's been on your show, but she hasn't been on mine yet. Like I mean, I haven't asked her, but I'm still hurt.
That's funny.
But
like, why haven't you come on? Well, you haven't asked me. Like, yeah, but you could have wanted to come on.
Right. You could have just
wanted you to want to be here.
Right. Like I don't want to bug my friends.
To want me. Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Me too. So I had to finish the whole thing.
We have some pretty sweet interviews dropping soon, don't we?
Yeah. We're trying to like start off slow, let that digest, because what he's gonna tell you is gonna sound like a one-up maneuver.
It's not a one-up maneuver.
It sounds like you're about to one-up. I just have this feeling you're trying to one-up somebody. Right
I'm not. In fact, let's just change the subject temporarily. So yeah, man, like comics have pictures in them. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
I like
what is canon? Oh, that's a good point. All right.
Totally. So anyway,
talk about what we've done and what we have coming up on Friday.
So okay, yeah, sure. Now that you mention it, in no relation to anything else we discussed. So Tom Brevoort, we interviewed him a few days ago, and we're gonna post it. I know that Eva is in the. I don't know if Eva's still in the chat, but she actually got to talk to him. So you'll get a second Tom Brevoort interview because you should definitely check out hers. It's really good. Also, we talked to Fred Van Lente. You might remember him from Archer and Armstrong, and he also is a playwright who did a really, really fun play about Jack Kirby called King Kirby. And it's available on Spotify, and it's actually a really fun listen while you're driving. We talked to Matt Kint. He's the current writer of Berserker.
And Fear Case, which is not bad idea.
Fear Case and ENIAC.
Yeah.
And a shit ton of Valiant, and also Mind Management, which is I think one of the best ever. Nice. So yeah, we had a good conversation with him. And then coming up this weekend, we're talking to Joshua Dysart again because he's our buddy. And we also have a Robert Venditti interview scheduled that hasn't been recorded yet, but stay tuned.
Comic Story.
Oh, Comic Historian, you say? Yeah. So we're doing our 4th episode of Club Valiant. Glynis will be there. Robo will be there. Our buddy Chris Runt is going to be there. And we're going to talk about Harbinger Volume 1. It's happening on the 2nd. And we're going to be joined by another kind of friend of the show. You might have heard of him. His name is Benny, the Comic Historian. So that'll be really fun. And then the last thing that I want to mention, 2 more things I want to mention. On Saturday, be sure to catch the live stream of Pride or Die because it's going to be really awesome. I think they're going to be reviewing Marvel's Pride. And I think that Ainsley actually has some very contentious views on it. So find out what those are. Is it Saturday or Friday? I think it's Friday. Sorry. Yeah. I'm an idiot. Yep. Erase half of what I said. On Friday, Pride or Die. Friday, also Club Valiant.
Yep.
And then in like a few weeks, I can't think of the date off the top of my head, we're going to be doing our 2nd episode of Delirium Hour, where we're going to talk about The Doll's House, which is I can't wait for that conversation because that is a fucking insane book, and we're going to get deep into it. Nice. Anyway, that's all I got.
Right on.
Ladies, gentlemen, and MDs, that is the end of our show. Miracle Man, thank you so much for joining us, especially since we always invite guests like last minute. We're like, hey, what are you doing in 20 minutes? And we appreciate you making that quick turn. Obviously, everybody who's in the chat loves Not Near Mint already, but just in case you need a reminder, check out Not Near Mint in 45 minutes. They will be live. And that's it. All right. Go get vaccinated. Bye.
I'm finger gunning. You got to push the button.